comments and we'll take questions.
All righty. Glory to God and a bunch of great kids for getting a great victory here at the Coliseum. Really appreciate the fans coming out tonight and the support that they gave us. It was a really good win for our team, a win that allows us to control our destiny the rest of the way. It gives us first place and has the opportunity now to move on to Utah and prepare for that game. I thought defensively it was a tremendous effort. I think anytime you have 16 tackles for loss in a game, it just felt like that defense was playing in Colorado's backfield all night. From a rush standpoint, we put a huge point of emphasis on putting pressure on the quarterback, and it went from anywhere from 4-man rush, 5-man rush, 6. It was getting there and getting the quarterback off the spot. Offensively, we saw a lot of pressure tonight. They came into the park to see if we could pitch and catch, and I thought Michael Pittman had an unbelievable night, as well as the rest of our receivers. They made big play after big play and really got some separation going in at halftime, 21-7. From an injury standpoint, Brandon Peely left the game with a shoulder injury. We'll see where he's at. John Lockett left the game with a hip. EA left the game with a concussion-like symptoms. Elijah Griffin left the game with a shoulder, and Porter Gustin left the game with an ankle. With that, we'll take any questions you have.
How'd you feel about EA's performance? What's Cam's status? And then also Ruben finishing the game for you.
Say it one more time, please.
Yeah. EA first.
EA.
What's Cam's status? And then Ruben finishing the game after EA left.
Yeah, I thought the bye week really helped us. Like I said, develop some young kids, some kids that we knew would have to help us in this second half of this season. And EA got his opportunity and was a leading tackler, basically playing a half of football. I thought he came in, really got to the ball, played very instinctively, as well as our entire defense. And then when he went out, it was Ruben's turn, and Ruben's trained for this moment for a long time. And a kid that walked on here, earned a scholarship, has been a great special teams player for us this season, and came in to finish the game off and did a nice job getting us in the right calls. Cam, we'll see where he's at. It was just too close to call, and it was one of those that if it got any worse, you could miss even more games. So we'll see where he's at come Tuesday.
Coach, what were your thoughts on how a defense without Cam Smith performed tonight?
I was very proud of them. I thought, like I said, it just felt like we were playing in their backfield the entire night, where there was run game, pass game. The quarterback just he had a night where he was having to get off his spot consistently and just interrupted his timing. One tremendous plan by Clancy and the defensive staff, and then I credit Johnny Nansen and KU in what they did with that D line. They're doing a great job.
What did you see from JT from the 2 interceptions in the first quarter, and then second quarter? What development did you see?
Yeah, I thought he settled in. He got fooled on the first. He got fooled on the first pass. We were going to be aggressive in the ball game. We knew we were going to have to take shots. We kind of had a feeling they were going to come in and pressure us. Plus, they played so much man coverage and so much adding safeties to the box in their quarters that we thought we were going to have to go up top. So it was a heavy shot game. We didn't hit all of them. We missed a couple of them, especially in the second half. But when we did, the defense did their job. And credit this one. Another pick six for 2-7. He has a knack of that, and has done that multiple times in his career. So that was my favorite thing in the world is not offensive touchdowns, and he got us one.
Let's do questions for players.
Ajene?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah. How's it going? Crenshaw High School to now you're a senior at USC. How does it feel to come and then get this interception tonight like that?
I mean, it's just a blessing to come here. This always been my dream school, and to play with Coach Helton and the guys, it's just amazing, And it's just a blessing to be here, man.
Jenny, how come you walked over and gave Clay the football after that?
But that's something that we do, as a defense when we get a turnover. So I got the pick, I was trying to find the ball, and I found it, and I had to bring it over to Coach.
Love you, brother.
Me too.
Michael, what is this game? What do you take from this in terms of progress and where things are standing for you guys? I feel like the offense is like taking steps on like just like making those like explosive plays, and I feel like we showed some good things tonight to like move forward.
Michael, it's like 3 years in a row now. Darius had that great catch in Colorado 2 years ago. You and Tyler these past 2 years. What is it about this matchup to where you guys kind of make those kind of catches?
Well, to my understanding, Colorado's never beat SC, so that's kind of what fuels it. So yeah, like they can't beat us. So I'm not going to be the guy that lets them beat us.
Well, you mentioned Colorado's, or you guys were in Colorado's backfield a ton tonight. Why do you think you guys were able to pressure them as much as you were?
Well, one, I thought it was a great plan, but the kids executed the plan, and we really wanted to be able to get there with four-man rush. It's something that when we looked at it, you were looking at, Porter had the numbers, but we challenged the rest of our kids to be aggressive to the ball, to force the quarterback to have an off night. And I thought they took the challenge. They put 2 weeks of preparation, and they put it on tape today, and did everything I asked them to do, and couldn't be happier for a bunch of kids. I thought they played at a very high level tonight, our defensive front.
Clay, from week 1 to week 7, how important do you feel like the defense has been for your team as a whole?
Oh, we knew coming in that in the season that defensively would have to help us if we wanted to win another Pac-12 title, especially early as we develop as an offense. I'm with Pitt. I think we're making strides. It was neat to see the quarterback tonight have a couple mistakes and then just settle in and just very poised-like. And it wasn't all the way perfect, but he really was putting the ball into the right people after the first early 2 mistakes. Still some things we got to work on. We got to be able to look a safety off and work the other side, not get fooled on that first one, going from too high to one high and the backer dropping underneath. But he settled in really nice and found the one-on-one matchups, and he believed in his guys. That's what I loved. I mean, he put the ball up decisively, and he believed in his guys to make plays, and that's all you can ask for as a coach.
Clay, this is for you, but I also want Michael to weigh in on it too. When your defense plays as well as it does early on and puts as much pressure on them as it does, if the offense is struggling, does that kind of give them time to settle in and to kind of work things out? And Michael, from your standpoint, how does that work?
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike. You want to start off?
Well, I feel like whenever they're playing like really good, like it makes me and like for like offense just I want to help them out because when they're like carrying like load, like we like want to take that weight off of their like shoulders and kind of get some points up. But I mean, they played like lights out and they like really gave us chances to score points.
Yeah, I thought the first quarter, both offenses, I thought the defenses were doing their job. I mean, you looked up, there was a couple three and outs for both teams early. And then all of a sudden we settled in. And you rattled off 21 points, and a lot of it was on explosive plays down the field. I thought, T recognized it offensively. He said, Coach, you know what, I'm going to have to take some shots here. And we said, cut it loose and trust our kids to make the plays, and they did.
Clay, how were you guys able to kind of contain Maliska for the most part tonight?
And he's hard to contain. We really came in saying that we had to do a great job tackling early on the perimeter because when you looked at him in the first 20, 30 plays, they were a perimeter team, and he stopped the run and stopped the perimeter game. And our kids just tackled extremely well. You didn't see a lot of missed tackles tonight, especially out there, and game tackling. We'll go back and watch this film, and I really feel like it's going to be our best pursuit to the ball defensively. Guys were flying to the ball, and that's what you have to do against a guy like him, because if the first guy misses, the second guy was right there to make the play.
Michael, what's a game like this do for you, and could you feel a breakout coming personally?
I don't really like the term breakout. I feel like every game, like we come ready to make our plays, and I feel like that's what we did, like as a team, and we made our plays.
You've had a lot of chances this year, though, for it to all come together and kind of maximize it. What did that mean to you, personally?
I feel like we still have room to like work, but like I said, like we've shown some signs of like positivity and that we can make those plays. So I feel like it's like a good like booster for us.
Let's go one more.
And by the first half, 200 yards passing, no yards rushing. Does that got you go back and say, who cares about balance?
Well, when they were bringing it, yeah, no, the White House loved it. But it was one of those things when we looked up, Dan, early, and you're seeing safety pressures, corner pressures off the edge, cross dog, interior pressures, and it was every down. And you're seeing a ton of one high coverage. We had to back them off, and gave the green light to T, and I thought T did a very nice job of getting to the right play and getting the right matchups for our kids. Had the same opportunities in the second half, and we missed 2 or 3 down the stretch that I thought could have even separated us more. That we'll go clean up, but yeah, it was one of those games that that they forced our hand, and so we had to be able to take the shots down the field and trust the kids to make the plays.